Hello everyone, Sotius here, and it's time for our weekly podcast where me and SaintBalmung talk about generic gaming stuff we've done throughout the week. That's a pretty nice intro there, Saint. Just all smoke. Hello everyone,
right?
Sotius
Nice and
here,
cloudy.
and it's time for our weekly
I got my Twitch stream up.
where me
Yeah,
and Saint
it happens.
Balmung
Don't
talk
feel
about-
bad. I do it a lot.
There we go, got rid of that. Okay, so how are you this week?
I'm doing all right. Haven't been sleeping terribly well. Worked 6 days in a row, but you know, I'm alive. I guess that's what matters, right?
Yeah, that is all that matters, I suppose. I actually do need my Twitch stream up. I just need to mute it. So, any games you've been playing this week?
Mostly just fucking around with Pokémon GO.
Oh yeah?
Yep.
You're still playing that? I've kind of given up. I mean, since they've removed that tracking, I just can't deal with it. It's
I mean, well,
no riots, Cloud. No riots.
I've got my own ways of playing currently, so
Right. Say no more.
yeah.
My face is so bright. My face is always bright. I'm a bright
Yeah, I know.
person,
It's because
see?
that damn light shining right in your face.
Goddamn bright person. See? Look, okay. We will do this in the dark. How's that? Oh wow! Now I just look blue. Okay, a little bit of light. Just a tiny smidge of light. No, it's too fucking bright again. Oh well. Deal with it.
The clouds.
Alright. So this week I've been playing a shit ton of games. Have you been keeping up with the Fragments channel this week? We've had a ton of exclusives. Well,
I have not,
not
bro.
exclusives, sorry, first looks.
Bro, I worked 6 days in a row and I've been dead. Like, I swear to you, it feels like something's like draining the life out of me. It's terrible.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
Huh. What have you been playing this week? So, beginning of the week, I think we did Re Happy Few. Re Happy Few was okay, lots of bugs, very early access still. So,
Funny story about that. Jim Sterling is he was pretty harsh on it, and he's like, "Well, I might not get my voice acting role in this game anymore."
that's great. Yeah, there's been a lot of positive press around it, and I'm really surprised they released it in early access. With the amount of press they had, they could have easily said, "Hey, it will be out at this point when it's fully complete," and people will still flock to it. So I'm really surprised they released that in early access.
I don't believe in early access or pre-ordering. I really don't.
No, I genuinely. Oh, and by the way, you're gonna hear outside noises, people. It's way too hot not to close that window, so you're gonna have to deal with it. What else did I play? Trying to think now. I played a bunch of games. I played a game called Apartment 666 the other day. It's a small game by an indie dev company. It was about maybe $6, and I just thought it's new. I'll try it out. It sort of tries to do that loop that PT does. You're in this apartment and it's kind of loops around and around. I got stuck in one room for I think maybe 10 minutes because you had to stand at a very specific spot in the room and look at a picture, and nothing in that game tells you to do so. So I was like, this is complete bullshit game design, and that game just got striked off my list.
See, that's dumb. Like, PT wasn't, like, the demo was not supposed to be the game. It was just, it wasn't even, like, I don't even think it was going to be an actual part of the game or anything like that. It was just to show, it's much like the Resident Evil demo that we see now.
Yeah.
That's where the Resident Evil 7 demo was derived from. It's a proof of concept. It's a proof of concept to show you, to set the tone of what you're in for. You know, not to be taken as the entire game. And while PT was interesting, people's craze over that, like hype for that, love for that, it blew me away. I didn't understand it. I mean, don't get me wrong, I felt it to be a solid proof of concept, but it wasn't like, you know, as big to me, especially, you know, and I'm a Silent Hill fan, so theoretically it should mean a lot to me, but it wasn't as big to me as it was to everybody else. I'm like, it's cool, but damn, people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, that Apartment 666 clearly took the whole loop mechanic from PT, and it was going okay until I got stuck in that room. I was having fun with it. When I got stuck in that room, I mean, Cloud, I think, was watching. Or someone else was, I can't remember. No, I know Andrew for sure was watching. And it was just so frustrating. And I actually had to look up on their support forums for people to be like, oh, I'm stuck in this room. And I'm like, oh, you know, this is clearly an issue everyone's having. And I went on there, and people were like, the dev, I think, said you have to stand in right next to the sofa and look at a picture when there was absolutely nothing to say. You had to look at a picture or stand near the sofa. And I was just like, people were trying to defend it by saying PT had harder puzzles, which it didn't really. And I was like, this isn't even a puzzle, this is shit game design. Okay, Cloud wasn't it. I thought Cloud was.
Yeah, that is actually pretty bad design. Like, well,
it was not a puzzle. You can't
Layers
say...
Layers of Fear also had a lot of that in it too, which is really, I don't know. A lot of, like, that was another game that was, like, really lukewarm to me. It's like, again, very cool concept. Like, visually, I loved the things that it did, but, like, I don't know, it just didn't. It was boring. It also felt like it was trying to be another Amnesia. You know what I mean? Where it was the monster was mostly unseen because it was in your head, right? Mm-hmm. And it was like you just didn't set that proper tone, I guess is the word I'm looking for. You know what I mean? And the pace wasn't all that great either, which was another issue with it.
Yeah. I didn't get into Layers of Fear. I was meaning to. It was something I had on my radar for sure. But it's not something... I seen this month they're releasing something else to do with Layers of Fear. I don't know if it's a DLC, a remastered version.
Definitive or remastered... Wait, hold on. I can find it. It's...
I have a list on my computer of all the games coming out this month.
Well, no, it's not that. Remember when I was getting... You gave me the website for the keys so that, you know, I could possibly get them too. Right. It's on here. Upcoming games. It was like near the top of the list.
Well,
you go ahead and
there's a lot of good games. Something else I played this week was Abzu. Have you heard about that?
Nope. Okay. I haven't really had. Honestly, I really haven't had a time to do much lately.
You need to go look up Abzu right now. It's an amazing game. It's all about underwater exploration. Do you remember a game on PlayStation, I think it was on PS4, called Journey?
Yeah.
Basically, some of the same developers from that have worked on Abzu, and it's incredible. Fantastic design, fantastic sound design, sort of an exploration game, nothing too strenuous. Cloud's texting me on Facebook. Stop it! Okay. So yeah.
Behave.
Lost my train of thought now. Yeah, amazing game. It's, the whole thing is about an hour and a half long. But it's such an incredible journey. And during the stream, I actually had the sound designer of the game pop in and start chatting to me. Which was incredible. Like, if you want to go back, if anyone wants to go back and have a look on previous videos, it's still up there. So that was a lot of fun, and he was just giving me all this sort of insider information and all sorts.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was just super fun to have him there. He hung out for the whole time for me playing the whole game.
That's cool.
Cloud's texting me because I was looking at my phone.
Oh,
you don't help the situation.
Okay, so with Layers of Fear, sorry to go back to that, but
yeah.
Layers of Fear Inheritance. It's a expansion, I guess. Expands the plot from Layers of Fear and tells the story of the painter's daughter who came back to her childhood home to face her past. Can she forgive her father, or will she resent all that has happened? Relive, my bad, holy shit, I can't read. Relive her experiences and witness the full scope of the tragedy that has swallowed up the family, lead the daughter through what's left of the mansion, and take part in the madness that her father bestowed upon the whole family, face the memories of her past, and shape them into the destiny that awaits her.
So it's a continuation of the story, essentially.
It's another part of the story. I wouldn't. I don't know if I would say a continue. Well, I guess it depends on how it plays out, if it's a continuation or not.
I'll go play Layers of Fear. I mean, I know you said it's not brilliant, but it's something I will check out and see what it's about. Maybe over on my Sotius channel at some point. But yeah, that sounds interesting. I'll check that out. Other than that, what, I swear there's been something else I've been playing this week. I've been playing Alien Isolation over on my Sotius channel.
Oh, that game is beautiful. I love it.
It's a lot of fun. Not for me, but for everyone watching. Because I just get scared shitless all the time playing that game.
Pussy! Excuse me. Sorry.
Been playing your favourite game, ESO.
Fuck that game.
Other than that, that's about it. I feel like there's something else that I'm missing. Something else. It's got to be something. I don't know.
Been having a really hard time, honestly, finding a game that I want to play lately. Like, I don't know. Most of the games that I was playing have been really getting under my skin. I just need to find, sit back and take a little bit of time and find something that I can throw myself at or into again.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm totally with you.
I could just be getting old too.
I've been meaning to complete Witcher 3. I know I've been saying that for a while, but I just saw that Gavin guy. Was it Miracle of Sound?
Oh, I love Gavin.
He released a new song based on Witcher 3, and I was just like, this makes me want to play the game. He does amazing music. But yeah,
I'm gonna do a little plug here. If you guys have not seen any of the Miracle of Sound project, go check out their YouTube, because Gavin is amazing, and all the people he works with as well. They're all incredible people and do awesome stuff.
Yeah, I've still got the thing here. Look, I'm gonna post it in the chat. Don't go see it now. Watch us. Don't be a traitor. But when you have time, go check out his newest Witcher 3 song.
Or you could just listen to it in the background. I mean, just.
I don't think we have permission to play it here.
No, them.
Oh, them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we've got, music playing in the background. Be a bit of a mix. Anywho, so anything you particularly want to talk about this week in regards to news? Because it's been a bit of a slowish week.
Well, Pokemon GO, the complete removal of the tracker.
That was a real shock to me. Like, that kind of ruined the game for me. I haven't really checked the game since. Apparently,
the reason they did it is because along with removing like third-party tracking software and stuff like that, it was causing a lot of strain on their servers. I guess if that's true, I can understand why they did it. But my thing is, I understand they want to make money. They want to roll it out to a bunch of countries so that they can get those, microtransactions and in-app purchases going, right? But at the same time, you really want to fix your core gameplay, because this is granted, it's a free-to-play game, so, I mean, you could still technically build back up your, player base after you fix your stuff. But,
Cloud says, removal of radar, removal of broken power saver mode, smaller circle radius, and lower spawn rates.
Oh, not only that, things are also harder to capture, and they removed the capturing bonuses, too.
Oh, did they? Really?
It was a bug. It wasn't supposed to happen. But, so, this all comes back to one important thing, and this is why early access and stuff like that is very bad, in my opinion. You only get one launch, and if you make, if you make it look bad, now granted, the Pokemon name is going to carry this really hard. Really, really hard. But it's only going to carry to a certain point. But anyway, you only get one launch, and if you fuck that launch up, nobody's going to come back to it.
No.
I mean, look at games like DayZ and H1Z1. You don't get very many people buying. Well, with H1Z1, people do buy King of the Kill, but that's because it's just a fast-paced shooter, more or less. But but the survival aspects, they're so broken and can stay broken, and it looks bad and continues to look bad. That people, they're not going to care,
No.
I'm
trying to think of examples of games that have sort of done a launch, like The Forest. It had a lot of hype when it first came out. A lot of people were looking at it. A lot of people were recording it, and it just died out.
Another one, and it's a good
because
game.
It was early access, and it just wasn't being updated fast enough. There's so many bugs.
Another good one. It was a good game in early access. Was Darkest Dungeon. It got so much attention throughout early access that when it was finally released, it didn't sell a ton because everybody that was interested in it had already purchased it.
Yeah. Are you interested in No Man's Sky when it comes out? I know you're not a huge fan of space games.
Nope, Star Citizen is the...
You're going to wait out for Star Citizen?
It looks... I mean, don't get me wrong, No Man's Sky doesn't look bad or anything, but Star Citizen looks to be the superior product in this case, which is why I'm going to hold out.
How long do you think it's going to take Star Citizen to be ready? Because they are releasing their game essentially early access, because they're showing people modules as they make them before they sort of put them all together into one big game. Like,
I think this
game still has a good couple of years.
Oh yeah, I mean, it may not even necessarily see a launch.
No, it's true. I mean, depending on how
more
the money's
than
been spent, they got a shit ton of money.
Yeah, it more than likely will see a launch, but you know, it's possible. You know what I mean? I mean, and again, I mean, H1Z1 and DayZ made a ton of money, you know, through their early access periods, and look where they are now.
Yeah.
And they've been in, now granted, they've been in, especially DayZ, they've been in development longer, but you know what I mean. It's possible, even with all that backing, that, you know, you may not necessarily make it. I'm hoping it does, though, because it looks like a fantastic game.
It does. It looks incredible. I mean, I've bought an early access package for it. Andrew sort of forced me to. Well, Andrew might have even bought it for me, in fact. And what I've seen so far looks amazing. It truly does. They're doing fantastic work on that game. But it kind of concerns me when games are in development for so long, because obviously when it had its Kickstarter, everyone was Star Citizen crazy, right? Like you're saying with these other games. The hype just dies out so quickly, you know, when progress slows for any reason. You know, if they're not constantly releasing updates and people just sort of forget about it. You know?
Exactly. Well, it's not necessarily forget about it. Again, it comes down to, you know, almost everybody that wants to buy it will have bought it in early access.
Yeah. But, I don't know. I'm gonna go for. I've got No Man's Sky, and obviously I'm gonna go for both games. You know, I don't believe Star Citizen is going to be fully released in the near future, so that's why I'm quite happy going with other space games. Like, No Man's Sky might even just be in its entire own ballpark compared to Star Citizen.
My biggest problem with No Man's Sky that I saw was the fact that I don't believe there's any actual multiplayer. Like, you can run into other people, but you can't just choose to play with friends. And I don't know, like, again, it comes, you know, how I feel about open world games and stuff like that. It's fun to have these big open worlds, but if I can't explore them with my friends or, you know, other people, they just get boring.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm totally on board. I mean, it just sort of depends what other stuff they have in the game too, I suppose. I mean, I'm a big fan of single player games. I enjoy just to be able to sit down and go through at my own pace. I sort of get put off when I have friends who are like, hey, come play Ark, let's do this, let's do that, let's do this. I'm like, whoa, you know, this is, slow down.
You never have that problem when I ask you to play a game.
No, because you generally, like, when me and you play a game, it's usually Dark Souls. You kind of have to go at the same pace because you're not going to get anywhere unless you work as a team.
Not only that, I'm an entertaining person to play video games with.
Yeah, okay, you are. You know, I'm not just saying that. You are quite fun to play games with. But yeah, games like Ark, where you have like a multitude of things to do, I find people just rush off to do.
Well, did I tell you the story about me and my girlfriend playing?
I think you mentioned it. Remind me.
All right, so I bought the game, and we were playing together, and every time I would get a decent amount of stuff, a raptor would come out of nowhere and jump me. Every time. And and then finally I said, fuck it, I'm just going to find her and we're going to start together. And after like a half an hour of not being able to find her, I'm like, you know, and we, you know, using the map and all that, because it says that I couldn't find her, like I'd get close and again, the raptor would come out of nowhere and jump me. And it's like, fuck it, I'm done. You know what I mean? I'm not going to sit here and waste my time.
Well, we talked about this the other day. Ark is sort of... It's a survival game, sure, but it's also guaranteed you're going to die. No one plays through Ark and doesn't die. Once you're caught by a raptor, or even something bigger, I can't think what the other ones they have. But once you're caught by that dinosaur, that's it. It's game over. You're going to die. You have no choice in the matter. Whereas a proper survival game will sort of give you
a small chance
to get out of that situation. You just can't on Ark. Once a dinosaur has you in its sights, that's it. You're done. Obviously, granted, you don't lose your stuff, or you drop your stuff, but you don't permanently lose your stuff. So that's one plus. But it's just not my kind of survival game. I mean, I played a ton of it when it first came out. I had my own server even. But not really something I want to play now, because I know one wrong move, when I want to go further into the island, one wrong move and I'm dead, and it's going to be a bitch to get my stuff back again. And I don't quite fancy spending 2 hours doing a back and forth of dying and getting my stuff back and dying and getting my stuff back. So I'd rather play other games. I mean,
now if I had the ability to spawn with her or something, I mean, I wouldn't mind as much. But
yeah, that's another horrible thing in those kind of games, is you spawn on completely different areas, even if you do select the general location. I remember when me and Andrew used to play DayZ, it was a bitch to find each other.
The only plus to DayZ is DayZ and H1Z1 is you had a chance. Because you could go into a house, you could find something to arm yourself with, even if it was only like a hatchet or something, and excuse me, at least have a chance against the environment. Maybe not against another player if you ran into one, but you did have a chance against the environment at the very least.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, you could still very easily die if you weren't careful.
Against other players, you're fucked, but...
Yeah, you could still die to the environment if you weren't careful, but, you had a chance. Whereas in Ark, you can craft yourself a spear, Raptor comes, 2-shots you, or 1-shots you in most cases.
Yeah.
You couldn't do anything about that.
I remember I fell off a cliff, on Ark, I fell off a cliff and into the water, and it's like immediately killed by a mega piranha or some shit, and it's like, what the fuck? And there was no chance of me going in that water and getting my stuff back. No chance whatsoever. So I sort of just, I haven't completely given up on the game. I still have friends who, I have a friend who has a server, and he asks me to come on every now and then. But it's not something I want to sit down and play for hours upon hours. It just isn't. It's not fun to me to die constantly.
It's not necessarily the dying for me, it's the fact that I didn't have a chance. That's my problem. Is that I didn't feel like I ever had a chance.
Yeah. Cloud's laughing at me. I don't know why. Anyway. Yeah. That's pretty much all I've been playing this week. Those games I mentioned. We got given a game called The Tribe. It's on the 5 Minutes account. And it seems to be some sort of runner. It's sort of like a tribe escaping from their home village or whatever and trying to find a new place. It looks bizarre. I don't hold out high hopes for it, but it is something I will be doing a first look video on this Twitch channel soon. If not today, then tomorrow. Other than that, there's another game I want to try out called RimWorld. And I was looking at the reviews, and you know how sometimes people give a story of their time playing the game in the review? The stories people are coming up with are utterly bizarre and weird. And it sort of piqued my interest in checking out that game. So that will also be something else I will be streaming soon. It just looks totally bizarre. But yeah, so are there any games coming up that you're actually looking forward to, besides obviously besides Star Citizen?
I don't know. Oh, definitely the Final Station. That's the biggest.
That's the end of this month, I think.
That's the biggest game on my radar right now.
Is that the end of this month? I think it is. Let's have a look.
I believe it's the 30th it comes out.
Let's see. No, Final Station is the 30th. Yeah.
Nailed it.
So okay, let's go through a list of games coming out this month. There's a few, so bear with me. Mostly is PC, obviously, because it's so much easier to develop on PC. Got Livelock, Near Death, Rising Islands. Rising Islands is a game where a developer I interviewed back in April at EGX Rest, and I was playing it on the controller at the event, and it played fantastically. I was so excited for it to come out. So I put in the request for a key, and I got granted a key the other day. I believe that's also in the Magnet's account. And playing with mouse and keyboard, it plays like ass. It's so bad. I didn't even finish the stream. I played for maybe 20 minutes and was like, no, screw this game. Not playing it. My controller for some reason won't work on that game, like the A button doesn't work of all things. And playing it with mouse and keyboard was just impossible. So I'm going to have to go back and have another look at Rising Islands at some point. But it's almost as if they've made the game worse since they showed it off in April. Because back in April it was great. I loved it. So I'm really confused by that. Don't understand that at all.
Oh, that's not uncommon for controls to go to shit, or the demo being vastly different from the actual build they release. Technical difficulties and all that stuff. Because demos are usually very structured in comparison.
Right.
Because it's only a small portion of what they're showing off rather than the whole shebang.
Yeah, exactly. So we've got Framed Rings, The Dungeons of Castle of Madness, Bear With Me, Throne Rushes, Blade Ballet, No Man's Sky, which is on August 9th. Wait, really? I don't think that's the correct date for No Man's Sky. State of Decay, Year 1 Survival Edition, Brutal, Ollie Ollie, PlanCon, Space Conflict, Lucius D-Make. The Lucius games were weird. The first one was pretty good for what it was, and then the second one was god awful. So bad. So I don't know what the Lucius D-Make is all about. There's a new Uno game for some weird reason.
I like Uno.
Yeah, I like Uno, but
Great game.
It's so basic. Why would you need to make a new one every year?
Visual updates, more game modes, stuff like that.
Alright, well, I'll hold off on that until I see it. Dark Parables, Rise of the Snow Queen, Lily's Epic Quest, Hexoscope, Anode, Copy Kitten, X-Blaze Lost Memories, Sabersaw VR, The Uncertain, Karma Mira, Momentum, Pixel Puzzles 2, Guards. It's just such weird games in here. I'm trying to just sort of skim through to see if there's anything really that stands out. There's a game called In Case of Emergency Release Raptor. That piqued my interest just from the name, of course. There's some more racing games. Worms WMD. Worms WMD, I had a interview slot scheduled.
I love Worms. It's such an awesome series.
Amazing series. I had an interview slot scheduled with the developers back in April, and they never showed. It's just like, I was there at the Worms WMD booth, and loads of people playing the game, and none of the developers ever showed for the interviews. It's just like, okay. Deus Ex, Mankind Divided, that should be pretty good. The new World of Warcraft expansion comes out this month. At the end of the month.
It's gonna be garbage.
Resident Evil 4 is at the end of the month. Wait.
Yep. Probably some remake, remastered bullshit.
It's for PlayStation 4. Weird.
Yep, it's gonna be an upscaling in graphics.
Attack on Titan game at the end of the month. I'm excited for that. I hope
that
they
could
actually
be good.
live up to the anime.
Oh, dude, just imagine Monster Hunters on a Shadow of Colossus scale.
That would be epic. There's a new game called Pray to the Gods, I think it was called, and it's supposed to be a spiritual successor to Shadow of the Colossus. I've seen PewDiePie play it and Jacksepticeye play it, and it looks fantastic. Other than that, yeah, there's 97 games coming out this month, but only a handful of games that really sort of stand out.
Few all-stars, as it were.
Yeah, essentially. So, yeah. Some good stuff I'm looking forward to. Anything new I get, I'm going to be streaming on this channel as a first look. That's been going rather well. We've gained a few followers from that, so that's great. Anything you plan on streaming on your channel anytime soon?
Probably Dead by Daylight at some point. I took a break from streaming because the game really pissed me off.
Has there been any sort of noticeable updates to that game?
They added Survive with Friends, but
oh, okay, so now you can team up.
Buggy as fuck. They still really didn't fix any of the balance issues, even though they claim to have fixed them. It's still shit.
So did you hear that the company that made that new Ghostbusters game went bankrupt?
You were mentioning it very briefly before we started.
Alright, let me, so Fireforge filed for bankruptcy. They say that they got the debt before they started production on the Ghostbusters game, but I can't imagine the Ghostbusters game helped out their debt situation in the slightest, because that game wasn't good at all. I played it and it just wasn't good. I was really surprised that they made it a sort of top-down shooter. I was sort of expecting a sort of maybe over-the-shoulder Ghostbusters experience, but very surprised to see you know, the way they made the game. Allegedly, they owe around 11 million to some Chinese firm.
Woo!
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. So that's another game company closing down. There's another game company, Relentless, who made Buzz back in the day. It's a game I played with, you know, family, back when family gaming was more of a thing.
I like Buzz Time Trivia, it was awesome.
Yeah, you played it? I've been struggling to find someone else who's played it. It was a good game, it was a load of fun. But Relentless is shut down. I don't know what they've made lately, or don't. I didn't know they were based in Brighton though. It's kind of surprising to me. But yeah, so I'm not too bothered about game companies shutting down these days. I feel like it always opens up opportunities to other companies. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's unfortunate for those who had put their, you know, their heart and soul into it, but
absolutely.
I mean,
the employees, like, it's sad that, you know, they'll have to be let go and go have to find work elsewhere. There's a lot of people employed in these game companies. It's crazy. But I don't know. It always becomes big news when a game company fails, and it's a sort of market that if you don't sort of hit it off in your first game, you're not really gonna go anywhere. I mean, heck.
I mean, first impressions are incredibly important. That's why, you know, early access. You know what I mean? I think early access is a bad thing. You know, first impressions are the most valuable thing you'll get.
I mean, heck, even industry veterans, Lionhead Studios, had to close. I mean, sure, that was more of a that people claim bad management on Microsoft's behalf, but
no, we know who ran that company into the ground.
Does his name begin with P?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
look what's happening with his current studio and why he's not allowed to interact with the public.
What is his current studio?
22 Cans.
Oh, I didn't know he had moved on already.
Oh, yeah, he moved on a while ago.
Oh, did he? Did he leave before it all went down?
I believe so, yeah.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. But, yeah, so anything else you want to really get into this week?
Not really, just, I just really hope they, fix Pokemon GO, though, because it has the potential to be an amazing game.
I understand why they took off tracking. Stop these tracking sites, but maybe fix your problem so people don't have to use these tracking sites. You know, it's...
Yep.
People have been actually demanding refunds and have been granted the refunds because they have put on their...
They're putting a stop to that, though, as well.
Are they? They've put on their refund that the game has become not what they promised what they were promised in the first
Well,
place.
it is. I mean, honestly, refunds should still be viable because core,
it's a core
features
game
of the
mechanic that's
game.
no longer there. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
So all the refunds, and if anyone happens to be wondering why we're talking about refunds for free to play, I'm on about obviously the in-game transactions. Every refund from that game should be viable. You know, we all got it thinking there's this 3-step system, and now it's completely gone. Everyone who spent money on the game is entitled to a refund.
I would say so.
I'm even tempted to get a refund myself. I spent maybe a good $20, $25 on the game.
I spent like 100.
Are you serious?
Lures, bro. Lures.
Oh my god. Fair enough. Yeah, you should get a refund.
Nah, it's alright.
What you could do with that $100, man. Anyway, so I think that about does it for this week's podcast. It's a short one, not much to talk about, but thank you all for joining us. And we will be back next week. We're definitely gonna not skip weeks.
Yep. The only reason we really missed last week is because I got called into work stupid early, and yeah, that happened.
That happened.
Yeah, I worked 12 hours that day. That was not a pleasant day.
For the last time, Cloud, I can't throw a table. This
I can.
Is really expensive. And
I
heavy.
could if I wanted to.
Yeah. Okay. So thank you all for watching, and we will see you next week. And be sure to keep an eye on the channel throughout the week for first looks at new and upcoming games. And also check out my channel, Sotius down below. I will most likely be streaming Alien Isolation and scare myself shitless. And be sure to check out SaintBalmung, where you'll most likely find Dead by Daylight.
Yep. I'm a variety streamer. I do whatever whatever I'm in the mood to play, I'll play it. So you might see Dead by Daylight, you might see Hearthstone, you might see Overwatch, you might see something else. Who knows?
Alright, thanks everyone for watching. See you next time.
Have a good one, guys.